Alright, everyone. This is a nice question which I encountered. So let's solve it. Alright. So it says that a fun ride in an amusement park runs between two spots that are 2 kilometers apart. Alright. So our total displacement should be 2 kilometers for the journey. For safety reasons, the acceleration. Okay. So for safety reasons, the acceleration of the drive is limited to plus or minus 4 meter per second square, which means that the magnitude of acceleration should be less than or equal to 4 meter per second square. All right. And the jerk or the rate of change of acceleration is limited to plus minus 1 meter per second cube. So our rate of change of acceleration is limited to 1 meter per second square. I mean 1 meter per second cubed. All right. The drive has a maximum speed of 144 km per hour. So just a quick calculation, 144 km per hour means 144 1000 upon 3600, which turns out to be 144 into 5 upon 18. This is 18 times 8, so that turns out to be 40 meter per second. All right. What else is given? Yeah. Find the shortest time taken by the drive to travel between the spots. So if you somehow imagine the way of solving it, uh, I think you will probably think of it like this, that when you graph the VT graph, yeah, so when you graph the velocity time graph for this motion, we don't know what's happening at start, but we do know that at the very start velocity is 0, then it gradually, or I mean yeah, obviously gradually, because it can't go like very fast. It cannot change very rapidly because acceleration is limited to 4 meter per second square. So it somehow gradually gets to the maximum velocity, then it goes at that maximum velocity for some time, and it goes at that velocity uniformly. And also it cannot just uh, go from one velocity to another velocity directly, because then the slope changes so rapidly that the jerk required to do that would be like negative infinity or something. So that's not allowed, because we are given that the rate of change of acceleration with respect to time should be less than or equal to 1 meter per second cube. But if it changes rapidly, then the rate of change of acceleration or the slope of this graph will be too much, so that's not going to happen. So it cannot head start with positive acceleration, it cannot drop its acceleration suddenly from some positive value to 0, or even like change its acceleration suddenly when it's at a point. So that's not possible, it has to change its acceleration gradually. So the graph will look more like this rather than what I drew before that, and then it's going to stop somehow. All right. So the first thing which we notice is that the longer it stays with this uniform maximum velocity, the shorter will be the time required for the area to reach our required displacement. And we know the region, I mean the area under the curve of VT graph is obviously the displacement. In this case, the displacement is 2 kilometers, right? Yeah, 2 kilometers. So we want this area to be 2000 meters. All right, and this velocity, this maximum velocity, it should be 40. And we don't know the velocities at these moments yet, but we do know that we need to get to this maximum velocity as soon as we can, and then we need to get off from this maximum velocity to 0 as soon as we can. I mean, this is common logic that you have to start at rest, I mean you have to start from rest and you have to end at rest, because it's a ride, so passengers need to, I mean people need to get in and out of the ride. So it needs to stop from point A to B. It travels, but at point A and B it should be at rest. All right, that's like one of the key things which you need to realize before you solve this, because if you just say that maybe it's okay to have initial velocity that is not zero? No, that's not good, because if you have some positive initial velocity, then passengers can't get in. And even when you have positive final velocity, that's not good. Okay, that's not good, because then passengers can't get off. So you have to have zero initial and final velocities. So that's nice. Now we just need to figure out some way to get to this 40 meter per second as soon as possible, which we can do by having maximum acceleration for most of the time for this journey. And you know that you can't have directly 4 meter per second square of acceleration at the very start, because at the very start the acceleration should be zero. If it is not zero, then you are suddenly going from um, his line to that line, and you're changing the slope rapidly, which is not allowed, because the jerk, that should not be negative infinity or something like that, um, which is very big in magnitude. It should be something less than 1 meter, less than or equal to 1 meter per second cubed. So I think what the acceleration time graph should look like is something like this. So for first few seconds it will just make the acceleration go up, like the jerk will be at highest, it will be at 1 meter per second cube. It will make acceleration go up to 4 meter per second square. This is acceleration time graph, right? It will make it go up to 4 meter per second square. Then the jerk will go down rapidly to the lowest point, to negative 1 meter per second cube, and then it will make the acceleration go down to 0. And the acceleration gets to 0 when we reach this point. Alright, whenever we reach this point, at that point we want the acceleration to be less than 0. If it's not less than 0, then your velocity will go above our limited our limitations. So that's not cool. You don't want the acceleration to be not 0 at this moment, and you want to keep the acceleration 0 for quite a amount of time, and then you want to start retarding, and then you want to go down. Alright, so I think that because you see this height is going to be 4 and the slope of this line is going to be 1, so if this is theta, then tan theta is 1, which means that cot theta is also 1. So this is just going to be 4 cot theta, which is 4, and similarly this is also going to be 4, because the slope of this line is -1. So if you call this angle alpha, then tan of alpha will be 1, because the tan of its complementary angle is -1. So yeah, that makes sense. So from this we can say that the first 4 seconds and the last 4 seconds will be consumed in increasing the acceleration. Now let's see what will be the change in velocity during these first and last 4 seconds. So the first 4 second related triangle, it has the area of half into 4 squared, because 4 into 4, which turns out to be 16 by 2, which is 8, and combined with the area of this triangle, this just becomes 16. And want the change in velocity to be of 40 meter per second. So you want the remaining area, let's say x, to be 40, to to satisfy this equation, 12 plus x equals to 40. So x is equals to 8, and then okay, x is equals to 28. So this region should be 28. You can clearly see that the height of this rectangle is 4, which means that this, wait a second, not 28, wait, something went wrong. Oh yeah, sorry, this is supposed to be 16, so this is 24 instead. Yeah, that was okay. Let's just erase this now. This looks gruesome. So this is going to be 24. Alright, which means that the area of this rectangle, this is 24, and this rectangle has a height of 4, which means that it has a a base of 6. All right, so it takes 14 seconds for that ride to reach its maximum velocity. And now we want to know that what happens during these 40 seconds. I mean, how much of displacement occurs during this 14 seconds. All right, so for the first stage, when the jerk is positive 1 meter per second cubed, and when the initial acceleration is 0 and initial velocity and initial displacement, everything is 0, at that point if we try to write the equation for displacement, you can just kind of integrate it, right? So dA by dt, that is going to be some constant k. We know what constant is going to be, 1, which means that acceleration is equals to t plus the initial acceleration called a naught. This is looking very bad, okay, t plus a naught. Oh wait, yeah. Next we can integrate this with time once again to get velocity as t square by 2 plus a naught times t plus v naught. Alright, and we can just keep going like this till we get s is equals to s naught plus v naught t plus half a naught t square. Well, this is not bad. I mean, this is the original equation for constant acceleration, which all of us are taught in high school. But there's going to be plus a term which is plus t to the third power divided by 6, because wait, what happened? Oh yeah, so because we integrated t square by 2, so we got t cube by 6. All right, so for the first stage, when the jerk is positive 1, you know that the displacement, that is going to be this thing, so you can just put the value of t as 4. So you will get s, I don't know, s1. Okay, let's call this s, because otherwise we will need to put on a lot of labels, s1, s2, s3. Oh, let it be. So s is equal to, s naught is 0. What about v naught? That's also 0. Half a naught t square is also 0. Okay, that's nice. T cube by 6, well, that's not 0. That's going to be our t is 4 cubed upon 6. Actually, there should be like some jerk in there, so like just need to put down dA by dt. I mean, for this very special case, our dA by dt is turning out to be 1 meter per second cube, but we don't know. Actually, this is so general an equation that we can use this for all of our different cases, for this case, for this case, and for this case as well, so that we can just write down our equations fast and neat. Right, so this turns out to be 32 by 3, because 64 by 6, so 32 by 3. Then the next region is going to be this one. We want to know, wait a second, first of all maybe we should also try to figure out what will be the velocity at the end of this motion, right here. So let's just figure that out. You already know that velocity is this thing, so if we just plug in the value of t as 4 in this, we get velocity is equal to 8. So at the end of that motion, you get 8 as the velocity. Alright, so now we want to figure out the displacement during this region. I mean, during this time, these 6 seconds. Let's figure that out. So now our s is going to be, you know what, now we can just put this 32 by 3 as the value of s naught for this motion. Alright, so you can put that in there. Now plus v naught t, so for this motion our v naught is going to be 8 meter per second, so you will have plus 8t, then plus half at square. Now for this time our acceleration has already gone up to 4 meter per second square, so you can just put that in there. So plus half of 4 is just 2t t squared, and now there's no jerk, so that t cube term is just gone. And yeah, so now we can plug in a value of t as 6, so that's going to be 32 by 3 plus 48 plus 72, all right, which is 120 plus 32 by 3. Now wait, what happened? This keeps happening so often. Okay, so the next thing which we want to figure out is the velocity at this point, and also the displacement during this time. And we know that the velocity at this point is going to be 0, so that's already done. Okay, so now let's start figuring that as well. Come on, scroll down. Okay, so v is going to be v naught, which is just 8, plus acceleration is 4 into t. There's no jerk, so that t square term is gone. So our value for t is just 6 seconds, so that turns out to be 8 plus 32, which is wait a second, no, sorry, 8 plus 24, which turns out to be 32. Okay, cool, that's nice. So for the next pull motion, the initial velocity is going to be 32. So let's find the displacement for the next motion, which is going to be, well, what was our displacement in the previous motion? This thing, right, this thing. So just put that in as s0, 120 plus 32 by 3 plus 32t, 32t. What, why did I put this in there? Okay, plus 32t plus half at square, which in this case is just 2t square. Okay, and you also have some, what just happened? Now for this motion there is going to be some jerk of -1. All right, so it's going to be negative of t cube by 6, right? Now okay, this is getting on the nerves, you know. Okay, so now let's put the value of t as 4. So if you put the value of t as 4 in this big expression, you just get 120 plus 32 by 3 plus 32 into 4 is just 128, and 2 times t square, like 2 times 4 square, so that's just 32. And this guy minus t cube by 6, well, that's minus 32 by 3, and we already have a 32 by 3, so just cancel all that stuff, and you have 128 plus 32, which turns out to be 160, so cancel that and write 160 now. So just have 120 plus 160 now, okay, which is 280. So during those 14 seconds, yeah, so during those 14 seconds, that train or that ride or whatever that thing is, that covers a distance of 280 meters. All right, and after those 14 seconds, it's going to reach its maximum velocity, which is 144 kilometer per hour or 40 meter per second, and then it will go with that velocity for some time, and then it will start stopping. Okay, so when it will start stopping, we want to stop it in the minimum amount of time possible. So for that, shit, what just happened? Okay, so for that to happen, I think that our acceleration time graph should look something like that. Okay, look something like this. Here is, I mean, here we are just taking t equals to 0 and s equals to 0 as the point when it starts retarding, right? So according to that, the graph should look something like this. Acceleration should be negative, it should stay negative, and at the minimum at -4 for some time, and then it should go up to 0, because if it doesn't go up to 0, then there's a problem, because you can't just turn off the acceleration in an instant. Well, that's not allowed, because our jerk should not be greater than 1 meter per second cubed in magnitude. So when we know that when that ride will stop, its acceleration will become zero. So it can't happen that you just get to zero from this point directly. No, it should go to zero gradually. You can't just jump over to zero, so that's not possible. So you want it to go gradually. And if you see this, that you realize that the change in velocity in this is the area under the curve is still 40 meter per second, but in negative version. But that's okay, because we can just say that the area under this curve is 40 in magnitude. And look at this is 4, this is 6, and this is 4. Because if you do all the calculations, you just see, you can realize how this is going to go, that everything is the same. This is the same height, this is the same slope, this is the same height, this is the same slope, this is 4 4, the area should be the same. So obviously this area will still be the same, it will be 24, and then you will have the height as 4, and so the base is going to be 6. So it will still take 14 seconds. And just trust me, if you work out all the equations which we did before, then you come to realize that in fact not even like this much the similarities come even in the displacement. The total displacement during this 14 seconds, that is in fact 280. So even in the first 14 seconds it was 280, and even in the last 14 seconds it is 280. So that's really beautiful. And I don't know why that turns out to be, because the whole order of operations was opposite. When we were first trying to get to that maximum velocity, we first turn on the acceleration and then like went with that acceleration and turned it off. Now this time we turned down the acceleration and went up. So yeah, maybe like, okay, it's similar. Who cares? Who just even cares about this? Alright, so you do have the displacement as 280 during those last 14 seconds. So what's the remaining displacement to be done? Obviously it's just 2000 minus 2 into 280, and all of that is done with the speed of 40 meter per second. So this will turn out to be 50 minus 14, I guess. Yeah, so that much of time will be required for covering that in between path where there is uniform motion. And then you have to add 14 and 14 once again for the end and start, because that also required some time. So this cancels away, just have 64 as the total time required. And that's it, that's the least amount of time required to go through the whole journey from A to B. Alright, that's it. So find the shortest time taken by drive to travel between the spots. That's going to be 64. So that's it, that's the whole answer. Hope you enjoyed it.